My name is Artur Szpilka. I come from Poland. I'm 25 years old and I love boxing.
Heavyweight boxer Artur Szpilka is one of the hottest prospects in Polish boxing. The southpaw has a professional record of 16-1, with 12 of his victories coming by knockout. He's nicknamed the Pin, after the Polish word szpila, and has built a reputation for heavy punching and clinical finishing, similar to Mike Tyson at the same stage of his career.
The adrenaline. Going into a ring where so many people are looking at you. Everyone's waiting for you to fail or for you to knock out your opponents. Everybody is waiting for a result, for a buzz. I love everything that comes with boxing, but most of all, I love the adrenaline.
Szpilka's story began in the town of Wieliczka. Famous for its salt mine, which is one of the oldest in the world, Wieliczka is on the southeastern edge of Krakow in southern Poland. Artur grew up here and was taught to box at a local school gymnasium. But after a troubled childhood, the 25-year-old was lucky to have found the ring at all.
It all started by accident, because really, the first time I fought, I was a football hooligan. I wanted to fight a rival from Cracovia who was wearing a Cracovia t-shirt. And this was my accidental introduction to boxing training. It all started because a coach noticed us when I was beating the other guy to a pulp. The coach, Ćwierć, came to us, told us to put the helmets and the gloves on, and that's how it all started.
I fetched the gloves in the sports hall and boxing helmets, and Szpilka won in the first round. I told them to shake each other's hand, to reconcile, and to forget which club each of them was from, and to respect one another.
Władysław Ćwierć is one of the most respected boxing coaches in Poland. Now in his 70s, he's still coaching in Wieliczka and spent much of his career working alongside his friend and one of the country's most iconic sportsmen, the late, great Zbigniew Pietrzykowski. Spotting Szpilka's raw talent, Ćwierć took Artur under his wing and helped channel the teenager's natural aggression into boxing. In 2007, Ćwierć was asked if Szpilka was ready to be taken to a national selection camp to try and qualify for the upcoming European Junior Championships in Serbia.
The national coach was hesitating. Should I take him or not? And I said, take him for sure. Szpilka came to Wieliczka briefly to collect all his gear, all his clothes, and off he went. Later on, he calls me saying, Coach, I'm going to the European Championships. I asked him how, and he said, I knocked out the favourite. I hit him so hard that they had to carry him out with his legs dragging behind him.
Szpilka enjoyed a largely successful amateur career that saw him win 102 of his 107 fights, impressing many observers with his speed and punching power. He reached the quarter-finals of the AIBA Youth World Championships, and he won the Polish Amateur Championships aged 19, but failed to qualify for the Beijing Olympics. So, in 2008, he decided to turn professional in the cruiserweight division. But Szpilka still couldn't shake off his past. In 2009, with a 5-0 record and a growing reputation, Artur was arrested just prior to a bout. Another street brawl resulted in an 18-month prison sentence, putting his career on hold.
It's well documented. We fought each other like yobs, and then we got a 1.5-year sentence each. So I had a short enforced break from boxing. Although it felt like a long time for me then, it gave me time to think about life, about everything. And in the end, I think it turned out to be good for me.
Whilst in prison, Szpilka used homemade weights to keep in shape and work on his fitness. He retained ambitions of boxing professionally, and once released, it was sport that gave his life direction.
When I came out of prison, I felt this blood boiling inside of me. It was the best feeling. I'd been isolated from boxing for almost 2 years, and all of a sudden, I came back to freedom and I grabbed something I loved. Boxing was the strongest motivation to me, and I knew it would be my life.
Artur's release coincided with the switch to the heavyweight division. He moved to Warsaw, where he now lives with his girlfriend Kamila. He's just a 10-minute drive from the gym, has a new coaching setup and trains 6 days a week. He's adopted a fresh outlook on all aspects of his lifestyle and is wholly focused on his dream of becoming a world champion.
My whole life had to change. I came to live in Warsaw full-time. Before, I'd go home for the weekends, and when I did, my whole diet was ruined. When I was at home, I ate all that my mother would give me, whereas here, I stick rigorously to my diet and stay professional. I used to drink and stay out until all hours, but now I don't drink at all. I've learned that you have to change your whole life if you want to achieve something.
It's a change of attitude that has been welcomed by Victories. Although he's no longer working with Szpilka, the coach still keeps in touch. He's pleased with the way the former football hooligan has turned his life around to become a role model for the next generation of fighters still in Wieliczka.
Well, now when he visits, he behaves normally and carries himself like an adult. He can hold a conversation. He can express his point of view. He has a settled lifestyle, which increases his chances of developing a successful career. He even took training once. The other day he called and said, "Coach, I'll do the training for the others," which I was very happy about. He led the training, and the lads rallied around him and turned up in numbers. He's an inspiration. Because of him, a lot of youngsters come to training.
Szpilka is just the latest in a long line of heavyweights to be touted as the next big thing. But he's drawn comparisons to the country's most successful boxer, Zbigniew Pietrzykowski.
Artur has his own style. He's not imitating anyone. It's been said previously that he's a bit like a second Zbigniew Pietrzykowski. But Pietrzykowski was an amateur his whole career. But the silhouette, the style of boxing is similar. They're both tall, left-handed, so they were quite similar. Pietrzykowski was with Szpilka when he won the main trophy of our club, and he was congratulating me on that. When I went to his funeral, his daughter was telling me, "My father was glad that you have such a good boxer," which means that Pietrzykowski liked him, and was saying that Szpilka would make a good boxer. He must have meant it, because Pietrzykowski was never one to make predictions. He was always reserved in his judgments.
In his last fight, Szpilka suffered his first professional defeat, a technical knockout against the highly rated American Bryant Jennings in Madison Square Garden, New York. But the young Pole is used to working hard and biding his time. And if his career continues on its current path, Artur Szpilka is certain that he'll earn his chance to fight for a world title.
It's difficult to say when that might happen. My last fight showed me that I still have plenty of hard work ahead. But I have a positive outlook, and in 2 or 3 years, I'll be up there with the best.
Subscribe now to our YouTube channel for the very best of Trans World Sports.